Welcome back, folks. It's me, Key of W, playing Artisan of Glimmith. We finished the main game. We're now going back to solve all the puzzles, gild all of our windows. And I did. I gilded this window in the last video. And now we want to bejewel the window. So there's still 9 puzzles for me to solve. I'm going to try to solve them all in this video without making it too long. That is the goal. What's over here? 6, 5, 5. Okay, so it's lighting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are there any back here I've missed? I'm just seeing the ones that's lighting up are the puzzles in this area. Right? So I want to make sure I don't miss things. So let's start with the easiest possible puzzles and work our way up to the hard ones. All of them have an area of 9. Great. 6 by 6. So we have 4 regions. Probably going to make these the 4 regions, right? What if I did that? This could be wrong. It's possible that the corner regions... Oh, no, 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 no. In order to make corner regions the same, because it's possible to do this, right? I can make this happen, but this is going to be a region smaller than 9. And to go around the other way, this is going to be much larger than 9. So I think we have to have 4 regions. So we have the Windows logo here. We're going to have to bring... This is going to have to take all these spaces. Because this is as far down as we can go. I think... This is the region, the orange region we can make, whatever. Green, therefore, is going to come out this way. 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I'm guessing, but I hope my guess isn't stupid. 6. I've got to do something about the edges of this. That's too much, right? That's going to be the challenge. I don't see any other way to do... Let me go back to the... Basically go back to the beginning and show you the logic I'm doing. So I know I have to start with this, but I don't see any way with this orange region. Like, it cannot come through here. So it must come through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But then it can't touch this space. It can only go that far. So it also has to touch these spaces, right? So the smartest move is to take this one. So otherwise I have to come up with 2 more colors to touch here. So that's the move, is orange has to go here, and then the green has to go there. But now I got to worry about this spot. I think what I need to do is get cyan to come around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is this it? I think it's just as simple as this. 7, 8. This might just be as simple as that, actually. I think I overthought this one. Probably did. There's something there. A 5er I can do. All regions have area of exactly 5. Well, these are all the same here, which means this is different, which means those are all the same. I think this gives us our break-in, because the teal ones have colored are all the same region. This one can't be the same as those. It can't touch any of those. It must touch this one. It must go in this way. Now, it doesn't have to be a P shape. It could be that these shapes come into the space. What can I do from that? I mean, it might be this, but if it isn't, what would it be? Well, I'm going to do some, like, logical deduction here. If I bring this shape in and I bring it down, what shape can I make here? There's quite a few options here. I can bring it up. I can make a Y shape. I can make an L shape. I can make a V shape. I can make a Z shape. This would break the puzzle, but that's what I could make. If I said we bring this piece in, but we don't, we just bring it in that far. Well, we know that this one's got to come out. But we don't know, like, these could be connected to each other. If I did decide to make this a P shape, like so, this could potentially break the puzzle. I would have to do this. And then whatever this shape is has to be the same everywhere. Right? This is all the same shape. What could this shape be? Right? I think this breaks the puzzle. I don't think I can do that. And I'm going to show you, because now here, if I bring this out one more space, I now have 4. We can't make... Oh, hold on a second. I need to pay attention to the rest of the Gemini squares. So I've gotten this far with these need to all be different shapes, but these two need to be the same, so I can't bring that over, because this is the same as that, same as that, same as that, different to that. They can't connect, so we do have to do this. So whatever this shape is needs to extend out this way, which means this shape also needs to extend out. Now we could have a Y shape here, or we could have an L shape. Is there any way I block that off? No, because then I make a V shape or that, which is wrong. So that's got to be there. So the question is, do we move this in? No, because now we have an orphan shape. So we have 2 L shapes here. I think that is the answer. Okay. Now we can't have L shapes here. So this can't move all the way down, because then we'll have an L shape. No, we can make a Y shape. Actually, Y shape is totally possible. What shape can't it be? This can't be L. So, let's see. Whatever shape goes here must touch the cell below it. Because if it doesn't, we can't bring that down. We'd have to bring it down this way. This shape would force us to continue downward like so. And now this shape here is going to leave orphan cells. That's got to touch. Meaning this cannot connect to it. That's got to be a separate piece. This has to be a separate one, which I believe it does have to touch that cell. If I blocked it off, we would have to have an I shape. Right? Because it can't touch that one, can't touch that one. Right? Could I at all? No, I think this, so that would break. So these two have to be together. The question is, I don't know if this is going to... Let me try a couple other things in here. Let's suppose I decided this was blocked off. We make this shape come out. We can't do that, can we? Because now we have L shapes that will eventually connect to other L shapes, so we wouldn't be able to do that. We'd have to make this an S. We can't bring it as a C. Well, then how do we make this happen? Therefore, we can't do that. So if we were to block this one off, we have to bring out, we would have to make an I shape. We can't make an L shape. We can't make I shapes anywhere else. So I think we have to do this. And so now we have a shape. It can't be a T shape because it can't go there. So I think we do have a Y shape. I think that is required of us. That means I got to bring this all the way down. This one can't go this direction because now this Y shape has to have a nub in this area. Well, you can just see there's 3 spaces here. A maximum of 2 cells can be filled in. So this would move down, which would break the puzzle because we can't put anything down here. So this can't be right either. Okay, so something's wrong here. Once again, all the same shape. I can't make an L shape here because L, these can't be L's. S doesn't work, nothing comes up here. So I can't just bring it through here as an I shape because it just doesn't fit. So it's got to be these. It can't be a T shape, it has to be a Y. How on earth do I do this? Confusion. I didn't make a mistake over here. We know that these shapes are all the same. This is different, and then those two have to be the different shapes to that, which means that this shape cannot touch this square. It comes out, and it can't go this direction because it creates an orphan, so it must be an L shape. It can't be an S shape because then we can't put it up here. What other thing could I do? That's gotta come out. It's not, again, it's not L, because then this is L, that isn't. This seems like the only thing it could be is a Y shape. But then these Y shapes are going to cause a problem. Can't be a T shape, because where does it go here? So we say, bring it out. That's an L. I shape doesn't work. Did I make a mistake in my first move? This piece has to be the same. We know these are all the same. We know this is different. Which means this is the same, that's the same. This cannot be that, so they cannot touch. So once again, piece out. Can't go that way because it can't touch any of those. Can't go up. This creates an orphan cell. So this can't come down and be an S shape because we can't make an S shape there. We also can see this comes out 3 spaces. So it's L's. This hasn't changed at all. So what shape goes here? If I block that in, I have to bring this out, and then I'd have to make an L shape, but I can't do L shapes. Or an I shape, but there's not enough space. So this isn't blocked, which means that's got to take that spot. S shape doesn't work because you can't make one there. L shape doesn't work. So once again, we're forced into this. Oh, hold on, there might be another way to do this. This shape must now be all the way across. This shape must go all the way down. But this one doesn't actually have to move down or across. This can be like that. And I think this is in fact the exact shape it needs to be. But I think we can get this in here. And then we can put one of these down. Oops. There we go. Oh, hold on. No, I need to remember this needs to be a shape. So if I did it this way, I'd bring that in, and then I would have another P shape, and then this would go out this way or that way. Is that right? Took this up, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that's just what we gotta have. So I think this needs to go there so that we can have a different shape here. And I think we're going to make it work with, oh no, this has to be there. So this has to go here. Yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I think that's a really good puzzle. It really made me think of it. I don't know, maybe somebody else, maybe you're watching it and you figured that one out way quicker than I did. I liked how it made kind of tricked you into thinking one way, but you needed to think another way to solve that one. Did I miss any sort of down in this area? I don't think so. Yeah, so the rest are going to be all up here. There's one hidden behind there. All regions 20. Jeez. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 6 of 42. We get 2 regions. Well, we know that we're going to have this set up. Well, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's it. Okay. That was much easier than the game thought it would be, apparently. So we got a 6 left, we got a 5, we got a 5, a 4. This isn't part of that region, right? Doesn't seem to be any like 7s here, so I'm not looking for that. All regions have an area of exactly 10. What's different? Oh, this is different. The border's in a different spot here. I see. So are there, how many are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 3 in each place. Huh. So I'm betting we want to grab those. We want to grab these. And then we want to grab that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Huh. How will I get this one? Gotta do this. Does the red go around? There's too many. Okay, hold on. Once again, whatever's touching this border can't touch that one. This one can't touch any of this side of the border. I feel like you want to just grab this border here. Right? Well, this piece comes out. Is there any way... Let's imagination game. We can't have red here because red, to encircle this blue region, keep the blue region 10 things, it would have to be much larger than 10. But if we imagine that the third color went here, how would we make this work? Because then what would touch that? Because if red touches that side, it encircles the green, making the green either far too small or the red far too large. If blue does it, it's even more of an encircling problem. So the green can't go there. It must be the blue. And it must be on both of them? Again, if red were to go here, we would encircle blue, and it would be much too large. If green were to go here, then somebody's got to get to that one, and it encircles green. So I think we are correct here. Now, red can't ever be there, so it must be green. So maybe blue gets up there? Blue could potentially, because we've only got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see if this is too much. That's too much. So we're gonna block that in. That's it. Okay, cool. Cool. That's cool. Now here it's going to be different. So red is going to take these again. I think we have to have the same idea. This is too many. So could red reach this lower point? Yes. Oops. Interesting puzzle. How many more do we got? 4, 5 more left? Where are they? Well, this... Okay, let's look at what's being turned on here. They're all in that little corner. Okay, let's look through this corner. All regions must have an area of exactly 9. Great. 6, 9, 6. That's 15, 25, 7. 3 regions. Great. 3 regions. These are the 3 regions. We'll go purple, yellow, blue. Or cyan, really. These are our 3 regions. Hold on a second. They can't be 3 different regions, because now all 3 of them have the exact same shape. There's nothing with a different shape. Therefore, 2 of these regions must be the same. Now, they can't be like this because they can't be on opposite sides of a border. Therefore, this is how it's going to go. And now we have to have a same idea here. We put this, I think this is how we're going to want to do it. So we'll do it that way. We're going to have to bring this out. These are the same shapes. I think we're going to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How would I make this work? This way? No, I have to make a C shape somewhere in here. That's going to block things, and I can't do it. I have to be here. I think this is just it. Nice. There's, no, I've got those already. Oh, no. Those aren't solved. Yeah, let's grab these. They're all 4s. That's all I got to worry about is 4s. Well, there are only 5 tetrominoes, so that should narrow things down a bit. Something's going to go here. Let's just put these unknown shapes are there. This is the same shape. These are different shapes, but just unknown things go here. Like so. That's got to be a different shape. So I think we got the L shape has to go here. Which means this must also be an L shape. That's how you make it. This can't be an L shape. It must be an I shape. This is an I shape. That's how you go. This must be an I shape. So we can't have an I shape here. Should have used a different color for when I was unsure of a shape because I've now decided I shapes are yellow. This can't be an I shape, but it must go out at least 3 spaces, which means it must be an L shape. This must also be an L shape. And it can't go that way because it's going to block things in. So that's that. That's that. This cannot be an L shape, but no worries. It's got to be an O shape. I think that's the only thing it would possibly do here. This shape needs to be the same as the one next to it. I think L is the only thing because someone's got to go there. And that is the only shape we can make. So this is an L shape like so. This can't be an L. I think an S shape is perfectly appropriate. L shape here, which means that this L shape needs to come out this direction. This needs to be an I shape. And then from here we have an O and an S, and we have done the puzzle. Beautiful little one, Presicion 4. This certainly isn't irritating to look at. So I know that I don't think I can ever have all 3 like this, right? No, I can, because I can basically have whatever extends out and then have different shapes here. I can't have an I shape? I can't have an I shape going down the line, because then we would have to do I shapes like this, so it's not going to work. But that doesn't narrow it down very much. Can I ever do an I shape anywhere? I probably could. I gotta find something that's obvious here. Here, let's use... Don't know. These are all different shapes. What goes up here? Can't fit no shape. So S shape is possible, which would put an S shape here. That's fine. It would put S's here. I'm just double checking that we don't break the puzzle. Does not look like we've broken anything. If I put a T shape here, this is where it gets a little trickier. Because we are touching both other sides, so this piece can't go up or down. So it's not a T shape, it's not an O shape. S is possible. I shape, we've worked out, cannot be a thing. So no O, no I, no T. So it's S or it is L. L shape would have to be like this. An L shape here would be just fine. We can't have an L there, so we would have to bring our L shape here, which is also fine. Hold on. This is option 1. We have L shape. If we do an L shape here, we can't use one there. We also can't use an S shape here. It would have to be an I shape. But if I do an S shape here, this shape now has to go down, can't go up. It would have to be like so. Putting another S shape here. And this shape can't be a T or anything else like that. It would have to be an I shape. So no matter what, that is an I shape. So now the question is, do we have S? Oh, S here would break the puzzle. It would have to be an L shape. So we have to do 2 L's. I notice a lot of these puzzles using tetrominoes have an over-reliance on L shapes. This needs to be an L. That is the only way to do it. So this is set. This cannot be an L. It can't be an I or an O. I, we've established, cannot go down the line. O shape, there's a border there. Can't be L, so it's got to be S or T. So a T shape would be an interesting choice because now we have to have a T shape here, but not there, which is impossible. So I believe S shape is our only option here. This can't be an S shape, that's for sure. Now what can it be? Can't be an I or an O. Also cannot be a T shape because that's the T shape. So it's an L shape, like that. Now over here we need this to be an S shape, and that's the only arrangement. This can't be. In fact, T-shape is the only thing that'll fit here because it has to move out this way and that way to avoid an orphan cell. So this is our T cells there. This cannot be S, can't be I, can't be O. So it's either L or T. T-shape would be a problem because now we need a T-shape here but not there. So this must be an L, which must go like that because if we did it this way, we'd need an L shape here but not there. So that is that. Forces us to put another S shape here. This must be L or T. T shape would be a problem. Because how would I fit a T shape? There can't be any T shapes here. This is either two O's, two I's, or two L's. Those are the options. So there's no S piece, so there's no T piece here. So this can't be an S piece, obviously, and this can't be a T piece either. So this has to be an L and two I's. Nice. I kind of like that one. That's a good puzzle. So I think all I got left are this 2 here. Yes. There's a 5 and a 6. I think I can take care of these in one video. All regions must have an area of exactly 8. Okay, I'm getting kind of tired of the you have to fit a bunch of really large regions in. They're not bad, it's just that there's just something about it that feels more tedious than it is. It isn't, it's just you look at this and go, oh dear God, I have to figure out 8 shapes now. Anyway, how many shapes do we need total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 here. There's another 12 down there. That's 24. So these got to be 8s here. That adds up to 40. We're going to have 5 shapes. So I know that this spot here is going to have to claim all 4 of these shapes. Or these cells. That is just a given. There's no way around that. And that's the only real gimme we have here. It does mean that this has to be a different one, and this has to be a different one. And there's no way these two can meet, because again, they'll encircle this one, which means if this is 8, these will be much larger than 8. You know the drill. So the green could go this way, but if it does, the blue can't move down. Can yellow go both directions? It can go both directions, but then somebody needs to go in that corner. Is there any way green doesn't go that direction? Yes, it would just take those 4. So that doesn't help me. I was just trying to find, is there any way the green doesn't go that direction? Well, this would force that shape right here. Is this wrong? This probably is. Huh. Because I could take those spots, or I could take an entirely different set. Well, let's suppose we had this going on. The furthest we could move is that way, which means we have to have another set here that takes all of those cells. And that one. But it can't take this cell here. So it would have to come up, and now the green is trapped. Ah, that's it. So this must be where I put the... I must put the green down here, which just takes all of those, and it must now... It can still go this way. I didn't block this off. I just know that it has to take... It just can't not... Whatever. Can't go not there. Which means this needs to be a new color. Now, it could be yellow. We can bring the yellow down. Or it could be a brand new experience. Let's look at blue and see what happens if we block blue. If I were to block blue here, we would be forced to make this move, which doesn't seem to be a problem immediately. If we block it here, this would be yellow. There's no getting around, I don't think. This could still come down. This doesn't seem as obvious to me which way it goes. If I blocked this area and the blue had to move in this spot, it would have to take all of these. And then it couldn't take this spot, which would mean the yellow would have to. And then it would force the blue into these regions. Is that acceptable? But now yellow would be forced into these two. And now how do I fill this in right? I don't think I can, because I would need 3 more regions total. This region here would have to take these 4 cells, right? And now, who takes that cell? We got 2 regions left. So there's region 1, region 2. Who takes these 2 cells? Region 1, region 2. This region would also have to be that region. It's not going to work. So let's head back quite a ways. That is not blocked, which means blue does go through it. That would force the yellow down. And it would have to take one of these 2 spaces, because if it grabs here, I can't put separate regions, right? Yeah, this has to be yellow. Or I could grab... No, that's stupid, because now nobody gets that. So yellow has to take this region? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is forced now? But now teal has to go there. No, this doesn't work, because then who's going to take these 2 regions? Is there another way to do this if I bring blue through this segment? Yellow has to come down. It can't take that region, because then it would create an empty space. So it does, in fact, create the problem we had earlier. So this border doesn't really... It can't be there, but maybe it's not blue that comes through? Well, let's see. Who can touch these 2 regions? We've got regions, you know, the green, yellow, and blue. We've got 3. We can only have 2 more regions left. One of them's here. It can't touch any of those 3. It's far too far away. Now, who can touch this one? If yellow reaches... Yellow's got 4 more spaces. It either comes this way, leaves an orphan cell, or it comes this way, leaving an orphan cell. So it can't be yellow. Can it be teal? If teal touches, it leaves 1 orphan cell here at minimum. So these 2 are the other regions we haven't seen yet. Which means that the red has to escape this way. Wait, hold on. How do I do this at all? Oh, this is a border I added without knowing it? Oh my god. Oh my god. I was like, this can't work. When did I add that? I didn't even notice. Well, then I don't have to worry about this at all. Now I just have to worry about these regions. This actually might be more solvable if I take this here. Right? Like if I decide that this is the space and I just make a bunch of these, this won't work. So I think with this new set, I know that maybe this is what's blocked off. But yellow can't grab these 4. The reason is that teal grabs these 4, and then this section here has on the same side of the border here. I have to have different things. So I think teal is going to grab these so I can get a new piece in here, and then something else grabs this border. So like, let's say the purple is there, and then let's say a red one is in there, which would mean that what if I did that? I think that's just the solve. Let's get 1 more space for red. So this one would have gone a little faster if I had noticed I added a border here without realizing it. Wow. 10,000 IQ points to me. All right, here's the big boy puzzle of this area. Well, there's actually a couple 6 puzzles. This might not be the big boy puzzle. They're all 4s, so these are different. These are all different, are they? Let's say this is X, this is Y. This could be, these 2 could be the same, these corner ones, so there could be a between 2 and 4 different shapes. What can this shape be? This shape cannot be an I and it cannot be an O. S is fine as far as I can tell, L is fine as far as I can tell, and T is fine as far as I can tell. This one has the same restrictions. This piece has the same restrictions. S piece would have to go like that. T piece would have to be, that could be that or that. And L piece would have to be that. So same restrictions. This one can be anything. That's not super helpful. But whatever's here has got to also be there. So if I said this was an S piece, I would do this. And now, right? If this is an S piece here, it can't move right because now we have an orphan cell. I have to move left. This would have to be an S piece as well. Now you have this being an S piece. This being both an S and not an S at the same time, which is illegal. You get fired for that kind of stuff. So instead, this could be a T piece. It would not be able to move that way. It would have to go here, which would force this up, making this T and not T at the same time. Therefore, we have an L shape here. It's got to move down. It could move this way. It could move that way. We're not entirely sure. This is L. This is not L. Now, could I move this down? Yeah, this is possible. Is there any way it moves up this way? That's fine. Because this is not L. Oh, hold on. This can't move up. Because if this moves up, then we have L and not L. So we do have to bring this down, and that's given. Gosh, I hope that's right. That felt really easy, and this is supposed to be a hard puzzle. And I find that once I get to the 5, 6, 7 difficulty, it really is a roll of the dice, because if I just happen to catch the right strain of logic, I'll solve it. And if I don't catch that right strain of logic, or if I overlook a tiny thing, I'll be here for an hour. What can this be? Can't be L, can't be I or O. It must be S or T. Well, how is it going to be a T? That's impossible, so this must be an S. This is an S, so it could be that. It could be this. We actually genuinely do not know where it goes. This could be O-I-S-T. Yeah, it's going to be anything but an L. So this can't be L, can't be I or O, so it's either S or T. S would force it here. Is that acceptable? Yeah. A T piece would be forced. And then T piece would be forced here. So T piece would force us to make these moves. Is this doable? No. I don't think so. No, this is doable. This fits. I'd put an I piece here, I'd put an O piece here, and I'd put an S piece there. Dang it, I wanted to break the puzzle so I'd know what the wrong move was. So like that works, but it's possible that's not the right answer because then it forces maybe a T piece needs to go there. Can I break the puzzle with an S piece? Because that's all I've got is S and T. Because L can't be there, and then it can't be I or O because it doesn't fit. Now if this is an S piece, this has to be an S piece, which I think is going to break the puzzle quicker. It can't go up. It would have to go this way. That forces an S piece there, which forces an I piece here. And then we don't have enough pieces on this side. What do we do? So I think that the first option was correct. This feels like a very long branching path to figure that out. But yeah, I guess we can also look at remaining pieces. So this is going to take that spot no matter what. That leaves us with 5, 9, 13, 16, 19, 21 pieces remaining. Let's ignore this piece for a bit. 21 pieces remain. If this piece takes 2 of them in this area, that's 19 pieces remaining. If it takes 1 of them, it's 20 pieces remaining. That works. If it takes none of them, it's 21 pieces remaining. So I need there to be 20 pieces remaining. The only way to do that is take one of these spots and not the others. That is the only way to do it. All right. So now this is a possible way. Is it possible as well to do this? Well, then there's no T shape that goes here. So it would have to go like that. But then this would have to be an S shape and this has to be a T shape. So my initial plan was the only right way to do things. Puts an I shape there, puts an S shape here, and then we actually use an O shape. Okay, so this cannot be an S or a T. So we can have, and it can't be an O because there's just nowhere to fit it. I could make it an I shape, but that would force me to have an I shape here, right? And then what the hell do I do? So it's not an I, it's not an O, it's not an S, not a T. It must be an L. It can't move up this way, so it has to go out. It can't move down, so it must be this. But now that forces a T shape here. I can't do that. Was there another way to do this? This is an S shape, like... Oh no! Oh no, I've broken it! Because this can't be O, T, S. It can't be I, because I... Yeah, it would have to be... It would have to go this way. It can't go that way, it can't go that way. But this forces a T shape here, and we can't do that. So this is wrong. It fits so well, no! Okay, instead of eliminating them, let's draw what we had already. These two are the same shape, but not that one. So, no I, no O. An S shape blocks that in, an S shape here forces an S shape there. This can't be an S shape because it's got to be different than that. So no S, no I, no O. T shape, that blocks in. T shape here forces a T shape there. T shape here, no T shape there. So we know we have L shapes. That logic was correct. We've got to bring it down. Now this L shape cannot move up, because if it moves up, now we need an L shape here, but we can't have two L shapes next to each other up and down. So we got to block it, bring it down, and that's our start. That, I think, is not really questionable. We can't do anything about that. Now this shape here cannot be an L, cannot be an I, cannot be an O, cannot be a T, it must be an S. There's really nothing else that'll fit. All right, so in this spot, we need to have something that's not an L. Can't have an I or an O, so it is down to S or T. S, once again, it's just a matter of how many spaces we have. These two have to be the same piece. So we have 5, 9, 13, 16, 19, 21 pieces remaining. I need it to be a multiple of 4, which is 20. So one piece needs to be in here, one piece needs to be over there. S piece puts both of them over there, or both of them inside. So again, we're at T shape. But now, ignoring this side solves itself. How do we solve this one? We can't have an O or a S or a T here. So L is a potential shape, but that forces a T there. So is it an I? This can't be right, because then we have nowhere to put this. Right? Because we'd have that. We'd have this orphan space. L doesn't work because it's a T. S can't be it because it's the same as that shape. T isn't it because, well, it's that shape. So I've clearly done something wrong here. Maybe this isn't an S. Can't be an L. Can't be a T. I know what it is. There's two ways to do the L's here. I can do an L like that. That's something I overlooked straight up, which means that this is no longer an S piece. It can't be an L, can't be an I, can't be an O. It must be a T piece like this. That gives me the freedom here. So now let me recount the number of spaces because that's going to give us our answer. We have 5, 9, 13, 16, 17, 20. So I already have all the spaces I need, so I want an S piece here so that I have the full amount. Oh, this can't be it either because now we need an L piece there. So maybe that's it. We'll recount it again. So we still have this going on, we just have a different set over here. So 5, 9, 13, 16, 17, 21. So this would still need to take one piece out. I think this doesn't solve the problem at all, because we'd still need to do this. this piece would need to be, can't be an S, can't be a T, it would still need to be an L. Is there any other way? Like, this doesn't work because now we have not enough pieces, right? That would have to be like that. Yeah, I guess what I can do here is a similar thing and then make this a T shape going this way. No, it's going to be the same shape as that. So what if I said that's the T shape? That's the L. Well, now this is a T shape, which doesn't fit unless it's this way. But now that's a T shape. This one is really getting me. So back to this equation at the start. Is it that these aren't L pieces? I piece doesn't fit, O piece doesn't fit, but you have to cross those off. S piece, yeah, it's still, this is still an L. This is still two L's. Can I bring it this way? No, because then I have to bring this up and make double L. We have to bring it down like that. Is this fine? Once again, we cause our sort of thing here. We have to come up 5, 9, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We would have to make this an S. But then this is just an L piece. So it's not... It would have to be like that. But there's no way to fill these in. I would need, again, 5, 9, 13, 16, 17. I need one more piece on this side, just one. Which would suggest to me that. That's how you get one more piece. Which forces a T here. But it now forces a T there. Unless I do this, but it forces a T there. Can't be an L. What could this piece be? I and O are out, L is out, it's S or T. S would have to go like this. But then this would have to be an S. So T piece this way, that's not good. If I start from here, I think I'm going to run into trouble down at the bottom. I need this. This can't be a T. This could be an S maybe. But now nothing fits here. That's T, and that's no good here, right? Now that fits. But we're going to run into trouble here again, because what goes here? It's weird that there's multiple ways to do this. What if I bring the T in this way? I think this is another way I can do it. Oops. No, this isn't, because now... This, yeah, there's no way to make this work. Yeah, I think I have that right with all the other stuff. But this can't be it either. I need to come up with another set that works on this side, because now this can't be T. Could this be I? No, no T. This can't be L. This can't be T. Where would you put it? This can't be I or O. So this is S. Which means no S or T. There can't be I or O. This is L. But we're back to where we were before. Is this one of those puzzles that got a simple solution I'm missing? What is it? It's got to be, like, I cannot think of anything else this can be. Everything else does not work. I have to be right. I have to be right in this move. I cannot possibly put an S here. Because then no matter what I do, there's that, but if it's different shape, it breaks that. This cannot possibly be a T. Because now we have one there, which means this breaks that, this breaks that. It is two L's. Now this one can't move right, can't move left, because now we have this issue where we break it no matter what we do. So we're down. This piece now can't move up, because if we move up, it doesn't matter what I do. L breaks it, that breaks that. Cool. This is established. Now whatever is over here cannot be L or I or O. It can be T or S. This one could be T or S. What if it's the other way around? If I make an S shape here, could I possibly fill everything in? Like I can make two S shapes? Can I make two T shapes? This would start by going up, probably. I don't know how this goes. This would be the T shape. Now, if I did that, I would force us to make these moves, which would force an L here. That's not going to work. So this can't be a T shape here. Can I make two S shapes? If I did that, this would have to be S, and I think it would have to go here, and then we'd have to have a T shape there, or an L shape, or an I shape, whatever. This would have to be L. But now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's not enough pieces. Right? There's not enough. If I do this and I block it off, we have to do a 6, 10, 15, 20, 25. I need to make it a multiple of 4. If I bring those in, now it's 23. Also not a multiple of 4. So if I make this a T, we just are screwed. Can't be L, can't be I, can be O. So this is S, but then this would have to be a different thing than S. This would still have to be T. Then we got 10, 15, 19, 22, 25. We need to bring one more in. This makes it possible to fill in, because we have 9, 14, 18, 21, 24. There's enough space in here. Let's set it that way, maybe. But it's just not a good setup. This can't be there. This has to be like that. We'd have to have this, and we couldn't bring it up because we have another S piece above. So we'd have to bring it down, have to bring this around. This could be an L. It couldn't be an I, that's for sure. So it would be like that. So this setup is totally fine on this side, but does it work over here? Huh. It could. Maybe this is it. Is this it? Didn't I try this before? How do I do this? This doesn't work. Because if I make this an S, I have another S. But if I make it an L, I have another L. I can't make it a T anywhere. Can't do this. I can do this. I can bring this around. That was an exercise in frustration. I don't feel like I understood that when I solved it. That's too bad. I wish I could have understood that puzzle, but I did not. But I have bejeweled this window, and that is the end of that. This is going to take a while to get through the rest of the game. Next time around, yeah, this one has 26 puzzles to go. This one has nearly 30 puzzles to go. Any other windows around here? I think those are the only two windows I can see. Well, there's that one. That one's got 40 puzzles to go. It's what I get for zipping through the game with no regard for how far along I am. Why is that one blue? Oh, there's a whole area here I haven't even done. There's a whole region. Oh, I have to do this. Not now. It's been an hour. But I have... Okay. Fine. Fine. You know what? I'll come back to this game later. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching what we've got so far. Hopefully this is the kind of thing that people like to watch. We have no idea. I will see you all in the next video. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.